Hey everybody, Steve Austin here. Thanks for hitting that download button and checking out today's Unleashed show. I'm opening up a serious can of audio whoop-ass today. I'm taking calls live from you, and we're going to start it right after word about LegalZoom. Now, this is a national Start Your Business Month, and the folks at LegalZoom are ready to help. Start your LLC, incorporate, or file your DBA. LegalZoom got an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, so you know they'll get the job done right. And this month is special because with your purchase, LegalZoom will give you a 3-month trial to the all-new QuickBooks, a better way to run your whole business. That's a $119 product you are getting for free. And just remember, type in Austin in the referral box at checkout. That's my last name, in case you did not know. Austin, Austin. So make today your new business moment and let LegalZoom.com help you get it done. LegalZoom provides self-help services and can connect you with the right attorney, but they're not a law firm. LegalZoom, turning business dreams to reality.
The following program is a PodcastOne.com production.
He started in a small town in Texas. Worked his ass off to become one of the most famous wrestlers of all time.
We're going to take care of business tonight, and that's the bottom line.
And now he's dominating the world of on-demand audio. And he's doing it for the working man.
This is a damn good outlet for me to spew the bullshit off my brain.
Yeah! This is the Steve Austin Show. Unleashed.
All right, everybody, welcome to Steve Austin Show, coming to you from the streets of Los Angeles, California. More specifically, I'm here in Beverly Hills today. Home of the beautiful people, the rich and famous. How I ended up in this motherfucker, I have no idea. But I'm taking your phone calls today. It's going to be a good show. And I'm taking questions about anything and everything. And I told on my Twitter account, Steve Austin BSR, I said, hey, we could talk about the Elimination Chamber. We could talk about that 6-man tag match that the Wyatt family had with the Shield, which was a bust-ass, badass match. I tell you what, those 6 cats ripped it up. And, you know, hell, general Q&As and anything and everything. Nothing is off limits here. If it is off limits, it won't make the air. So anyway, that's what it's going to be today, just fucking around. I don't have hardly no notes in front of me. This is all ad lib. If I get caught up in a clusterfuck, I will look for the save from Stacy, who's looking at me from the other side of the glass. Good morning, Stacy. How are you?
Good morning. I am fine, thanks.
So what time did you get here this morning? I pulled in right around 8 a.m. so we could get an early start. What time did you get here?
I got here about 7:30 so I could get the studio set and, more importantly, see if I could get the lights turned on.
You damn early bird. Now, what's the deal with the lights? I came in, it was all dark. I can't see worth the shit. I might as well bought one of them stick to those walking sticks that the blind people use.
For some reason, the building here doesn't turn the lights on until 8 a.m., and if you can make a special request to get them on early, which we did, but I guess they didn't get
Now, the Steve Austin Show ain't got no stroke up in this motherfucker. We're going to make some money up in this bitch today. We're going to be reading some commercials and some shit like that, along with taking your phone calls. You know what's funny, Stacy? We got a piece of business the other day. One of the sponsors wanted to jump in and sell some stuff that I didn't really want to sell, so we passed on them. We won't mention that product. But, you know, the thing about, you know, when I'm selling stuff and making money up in this bitch, all my sponsors I endorse and proud of the products that we talk about here on the Steve Austin Show. But, I mean, you know, if somebody just got some money they want to throw at me for some dipsy-doodle horseshit contraption, and I'm going to try to sell it to the Steve Austin Show listeners just to make a buck, and that ain't going to happen. It's got to be something that you folks can use and something that I believe in. I mean, shit, Stacy, what if, you know, I could say, you know, like, okay, say they made meth legal, and I was selling, I had some money someone wanted to give to me to sell some of that blue Heisenberg shit, and I'm peddling meth over here on the Steve Austin Show just to make a payoff. Well, that is not going to bode well for the long-term future of the Steve Austin Show fan. These motherfuckers are going to get all fucked up on drugs and maybe die. So I don't read none of the shit that I don't want to read. Stacy, can you see me selling Heisenberg meth on this motherfucker?
No, I really can't see it. And then, you know what? It probably wouldn't bode well for you because Heisenberg might come after you.
God dang. Well, you know, he can't. He died. You know, we just finished. Did you watch Breaking Bad?
I did.
Did you finish the whole thing?
I did. It took me a long time, but I finished it.
I know we got started late, and then we were watching. We were up to about season number 3, and then we went down to Texas for deer season. 2 months, jonesing, and then finally came back and then watched the final episode the other night. And so Heisenberg cannot come after me.
That's true.
What did you think about the end scene with him going down like he did? Now, I know it's smarting some people up. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So what did you think about the ending?
I think it had to end like that because really he wasn't a good dude and he had to be taken down. But I don't know, as a viewer, you like him and you're still sort of rooting for him.
You know, towards the end, there's only a couple of scenes or episodes where I really started despising him when things were starting to spin out of control. But then at the end, you know, he did the right thing, and then it all started off for the right cause. But you know, that was the name of the show, Breaking Bad, and he broke bad. But then just kind of him dying in his place there in the lab. It wasn't his lab, but, you know, just there where he liked to do the science part of it, the chemistry part of it. So it was anticlimactic, but very fitting, and I don't know how you would have taken him out any other way than when he went. And seeing Jesse, the fact that he rescued Jesse and Jesse riding off into the sunset like he did, and you just think, okay, so if this were to continue, like, what is the process going forward for Jesse? Because so much stuff has happened when those guys are basically holding him prisoner, beating the dog shit out of him, getting him to cook batches and stuff like that. So what would the future have boded for Jesse if they were to continue that? He really had a conscience.
But he liked money, I think.
Yeah, he did. But then, you know, when he started throwing it away and kind of going cuckoo, you know, it was like, hey, well, what's all this about? You know, because we're causing so much devastation and destruction.
The spinoff will be he's in a totally different city as now like a faith or spiritual leader. Trying to put people on the right path.
That would be interesting. But anyway, I enjoyed the shit out of that. And then, you know, I was on another segue here, Stacy. I was going through my emails the other day. Do you get a bunch of emails?
Yes, I do.
Well, I get quite a few. You ever go into your junk drawer?
I do.
And you get the damnedest things over there. And I keep getting these damn emails that go right to the trash, what they call junk or spam.
Right.
Yeah, they go to the spam folder. And I was looking at the spam folder, and I keep getting these damn emails from ChristianMingle.com.
Did you sign up? Did someone sign you up as a gimmick?
I can't sign up. I'm married. So I was thinking, so if I signed up for ChristianMingle.com and put, you know, I'm sure you got to fill out a questionnaire. Now, question, have you ever done the online dating thing?
I have not. I've never done it.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's all the rage these days.
Everybody's doing it.
So if I was, you know, going to, you know, maybe have an affair or do something like that, and I was going to get on ChristianMingle.com and I found a good religious girl to have this fling or this affair with, would she narc on me? And then would I want a future with her on the side because I'm married if she's a sinner?
No.
I'm caught in this quandary. So should I sign up for Christian Mingle or not?
Not.
You met Kristen. She
not.
might put a knot on my head.
I like Kristen. So
Yeah.
I say big knot.
That was a hypothetical. I'm not going to sign up, but I just figured these motherfuckers keep sending me these damn things, and they keep going to the spam folder. But it's like, man, they're trying to get my business.
They want you.
Yep.
Well,
so I guess I should pass.
I'd pass. Definitely
Okay.
pass.
Hey, did you get a chance to see the WWE Elimination Chamber the other day?
I did not, actually.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
Did you watch Monday Night Raw the next day?
I did not watch that either. You have got me hooked on YouTube and past matches based on who your guest is. So you guys start talking about something, and then I go and I look for the match or the WrestleMania that you talked about. So that's what I've been hooked on.
Well, you know, the WWE Network just started. Did you pay your $9.99 a month to get WWE Network?
I actually did.
Oh, come
signed up
on,
for it.
Stacy. Did you?
I want the good quality because some of the stuff on YouTube,
Yeah.
it's kind of grainy.
Okay,
or
so
no
how has your
volume.
experience been with this? Have you enjoying the shit out of it?
I haven't had a chance to watch that much because I literally just signed up this week. I think Tuesday is when I got mine, so I haven't been on it too terribly much, but it looks like there's tons of stuff there.
I've been getting a lot of positive feedback on my Twitter account, Steve Austin BSR, and then every now and then I'll get some people that are having some issues with it. So I'm thinking, hey, man, is this another affordable care routine?
Ooh, I haven't run into that yet, but like
I haven't
said,
either. I mean, like
yeah.
most of the people have had positive experiences, but every now and then you'll get a glitch. But for the most part, everything that I've gotten, people are enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah, it's cool. Like I said, I mean, I've been searching just random, even You can search wrestlers, which I've been doing. I've
Yep.
searched for some past WrestleMania matches.
Well, it's interesting because when we started working together, and then also you work a little bit with Chris Jericho, who has Talk is Jericho, and his show's dropping twice a week now. When does his show drop?
Wednesday and Friday.
Wednesday and Friday, and then you also do the Ross Report, which drops Wednesday.
Wednesday.
My good buddy Jim Ross, the Ross Report, those two badass podcasts, check them out. So now, start off with me, Chris Jericho, Jim Ross, three pretty badass cats, humbly speaking.
Yes.
So now, but you turned into quite the wrestling fan.
I think I told you this once before, that you guys have completely wrecked me. All I do is go on my computer and try and watch matches now.
So do you what's your understanding of the business now? It's like you totally get it?
I don't know if I totally get it, but I really enjoy it.
Yep.
And I find myself doing, like, interesting things. Like, after you had John Cena on, which I thought was a great interview.
I love talking to John Cena.
Yeah, and you were talking about, hey, man, kind of tighten up your hold.
That STF.
So I go, and I was watching to see if I could notice that. You know,
Right.
like, if I could see some of those things. But to me, it looks, I mean, God, it's, for all the knocks that I've heard it take for being staged or fake, man, it doesn't come across like that.
What do you like the most? Do you like the action in the ring, or the characters and their promos? What draws you to it now that you had to get a taste of it?
Right now, I like the action in the ring. I like to see, I guess, that interplay and
Right.
see some of the bumps people are taking. I really like that. But then I'm a sucker for the entrances too. Like
Yeah, no, you got to have a good entrance.
Yeah, seriously, I like that too. I like the music. I like the whole, I guess, character
Right.
and persona that comes across. And so I have started to. This is something I just started doing, is hearing you talk about some of the promos that you really love, and
Yep.
going back to find some of those. And man, I can see why you dig those.
Well, before I leave here today, I'm going to give you a couple of matches that are going to take you back to the mid-'80s and NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, and some of the Four Horsemen stuff, some of the stuff with Ric Flair, and of course Tully Blanchard was part of the Four Horsemen. He was badass. Magnum TA, of course, Dusty, Nikita Koloff, Ivan Koloff, all those guys. Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express. So I'm gonna give you a list of a couple things that you can check out, and you should be able to do it on the WWE Network, because I believe they have all of those libraries. And also some key stuff from WCW when they shifted, when Ted Turner bought the territory from Crockett and turned it into a World Championship Wrestling. So I'm going to give you some other stuff that I really kind of always is my go-to stuff when I'm in my garage trying to get in shape for the Broken Skull Challenge. I went out to the Broken Skull Challenge yesterday, went out to the locations. My new ranch is about 50 miles outside of Los Angeles, California, and I took my black Suburban Hershey the Wonder Dog out there and checked out the situation, all the setup that we're going to be running these contestants through. And the guy I was talking to, he goes, hey, man, it's colder than shit out here. He goes, bring a jacket. I'm like, hey, man, what was it yesterday in L.A., about 65 degrees?
Probably. Not much colder than that.
Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful weather, so I'm thinking, why is it going to be colder than the motherfucker, and it's only 50 miles down the road? So anyway, just for the hell of it, I decided to take my jacket. It was colder than a sumbitch out there, so I had my jacket. And, last night we were supposed to get a bunch of rain, and that was going to mess up the course. We're going to roll cameras starting next week. So they had tarps everywhere to try to keep, having mudslides and all the bullshit from wrecking this stuff. But it's going to be a good show, and I was excited to get out there. And, of course, Hershey the Wonder Dog was out there. It's a couple thousand acres out there, and she didn't have to put a leash on. You walk a dog out here in Los Angeles, California, they got to have a leash on. Or if you don't, you're an asshole for not having your dog on a leash. And everybody that in my neighborhood that doesn't use a leash has a German Shepherd. And I'm thinking, all right, if I have to put my foot up a German Shepherd's ass, if they attack Hershey the Wonder Dog who's on her leash, we're going to have a problem.
Big problem.
So you got to come out and check out the when we start rolling the camera out there. You got to come out there and check out the scenario, and we can talk about the Broken Skull Challenge here on the radio show, with the podcast, whatever the fuck. I feel like I'm a DJ when I come in here. When I'm at the house, I'm podcasting. Now all of a sudden I'm a radio DJ. We were going to spin some tunes this morning, but we've got a piece of equipment that's down in there. What happened?
Truthfully, we're not really sure. We just can't access the program that we use to record and play back audio. So the computer itself is working fine if you want to surf the internet or check your email,
Right.
but it can't record or play any audio.
Well, see, so I could come in there and check my email, get on my spam thing, see how many Christian Mingle emails I got. Then I could go out to my Suburban and get me some jumper cables, a 4-in-1 screwdriver, and see if I can fix that damn computer. You want me to turn a wrench on it or not? You want to wait on a real professional?
Bring your wrench. I want
Bring
this
a
thing
wrench.
working.
That's bullshit. So what we're going to do, Stacey, I'm going to send out a tweet to say green light for the people to start calling here into Podcast One in beautiful Beverly Hills. Take some phone calls from the listeners and open up a can of audio whoop ass. But first, I got to tell you about the Dollar Shave Club. Dollar Shave Club has amazing quality razors that deliver right to your front door for just a couple dollars a month. Razors are damn expensive, especially if you're buying them in the store from those billion-dollar shave companies. So don't waste your money on those gimmicks. Cut your wallet a break and go to dollarshaveclub.com. Just sign up and pick a razor plan. They have 3 to choose from. And then every month you'll get a package in the mail with Dollar Shave Club blades. And these ain't no cheap-ass blades either, people. These are quality razor blades. That's why I, yours truly, switched to dollarshaveclub.com. So thanks to Dollar Shave Club, you'll never forget to buy blades, and you'll never get nicked up trying to squeeze one last shave out of the last blade in your pack. So join me and the hundreds of thousands of guys who have upgraded to the smarter way to shave. Shave time, shave money. Join dollarshaveclub.com/Steve. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Steve. All right, let's get to the phone lines, people. What's happening, Michael? Welcome to the Steve Austin Show.
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, just sitting here taking your calls. I heard you want to talk about a main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah, let me just start off by saying I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you a lot. What I wanted to say was, if this is really the direction they're going with Batista and Randy Orton, I mean, if that's what if they're going to be proud of that main event at one of the biggest WrestleManias, like WrestleMania 30, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty huge deal, and I feel like that main event's going to get a pretty shitty reaction. So I don't know if they can be proud of that or not.
Well, it's going to be interesting
really
to see. It's going to be interesting to see. You know, they made that match, but I don't know. I think, and I was talking to Jim Ross the other day, and I think he might have touched upon this in his Ross Report, his podcast, which comes out every Wednesday, that I think, and I believe the same thing he does, I think they have 3 matches made right now, which could potentially be main events, but I think that the order of those matches will continue to jockey for position, and they're throwing some feelers out there. They'll gauge the audience, they'll plan accordingly, and I think you'll know the final lineup or the final order maybe the week before or 2 weeks before on the go-home before WrestleMania. So, yeah, they made that match, but, you know, and I won't critique either guy, but to your point, yeah, maybe not the you know, the match that everybody's hoping to be the main event. So then what could you see being that match right now?
Honestly, if they're going to stick to their guns and stick with the matches they got lined up, honestly, I would say the main event should be Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, just because we all obviously want Daniel Bryan in the title picture, but if we're not going to go that route, it still makes sense to go with Triple H, obviously, with all the things that have been going on in the storylines and whatnot. It makes sense. But being that seems to be the most biggest thing that everybody's behind, that I personally think should be. Don't get me wrong, Taker Lesnar is going to be good, and that's attraction alone, but I maybe put that second to last. I don't know. But
What'd you think when Taker made his entrance the other night on Monday Night Raw? I thought it was just an unbelievable moment for me. A guy who I've known for a long time, but a guy who I've really enjoyed the character and the gimmick and the work. Man, I got goosebumps watching him come down that ramp again with that music and that whole persona that he brings. Oh, yeah. I grew up loving the guy from day one, so every time he comes back, it's just, you know, I mean, how can you not respect the guy? Well, it's going to be interesting because, Brock, intimidating guy. Paul Heyman has been dropping some grade A-plus promos, and certainly the other night on Monday Night Raw was another example of that. I think,
I love Paul.
When Lesnar picks the pin up and puts it in Taker's chest, the ultimate sign of disrespect, and then Taker grabs that pin and allegedly jabs it in Brock's hand and then picks him up and gives him the big ride down to the table. It was one of those holy shit moments. And that's going to be another great match. And I look for, anytime Taker gets into WrestleMania, puts it all on the line. Got a lot of respect for that cat. But to your point, going back to Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, this is going to be the feel-good match of the night. And to culminate a whole year's worth of work, the highs and lows, the perceived non-pushes and roadblocks that have come Daniel Bryan's way, I think it's put up or shut up time. This is a time where you got to pay this motherfucker off. Daniel Bryan needs to walk out of WrestleMania 30 as the World Heavyweight Champion. That's what I believe.
That's what I believe too. Somehow, some way, he has to get some in some position. Or even here's another thing that I thought to myself, which you could do. Maybe have Triple H versus Daniel Bryan, yes, at WrestleMania, but perhaps if he wins that, he gets added to the title match. You see what I mean? That could always be some sort of stipulation that throws in there,
Right.
But at the end of the day, we just want Daniel Bryan's payoff. It's been long time coming now, and I'm a realist. I understand the slow build totally, but it's getting to the point where, once again, I've heard you say before, that window is closing.
Right.
Eventually, we're not going to care. So, that's the sad state of the whole thing is eventually people just ain't going to give a shit, man.
Now, quick question, Michael. Now, this Daniel Bryan versus Triple H thing. Now, Randy Orton has both belts.
Right.
So how are we going to get Daniel Bryan into the title picture?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you could do some. There is still two belts. Maybe they split them again just to kind of do something. I don't know, but I don't really personally. I don't want them to. I kind of just want one title belt. I think there should be one. I've always believed that there should only be one guy.
Right.
That's the champion. Okay. When they did the two titles and things like that, that really just kind of cheapens the belt, and it doesn't mean anything. You're just trying to have a belt just because you need to try to get some guys over by them carrying some gold, and that doesn't work for me. The IC belt obviously does. That's a great belt and a great championship. Right, and that's another championship that I'm kind of disappointed that it's not a bigger deal. I really believe that it should be, this is just my personal opinion, that it should be unified with the United States title and just simply be the Intercontinental title, and then, let's put it back as that belt that everybody wants to get a hold of, because if they get a hold of that belt, that means they're on the road to the main title. You know what I mean? That's the way I always thought it was.
Yeah, I don't quite understand the Intercontinental title. Obviously, the Intercontinental versus United States, specifically to the United States, but it's the same belt. Make no mistake about it. It's that next belt down that your badass workers have that are looking for the stepping stone and the next step to get to the next level. But anyway, hey Michael, I appreciate your thoughts. We gotta think about how you're gonna get Daniel Bryan in that title shot. Because a matchup with Triple H ain't gonna give him the gold.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling in the show, and I appreciate you listening to it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. I'll catch you down the road.
Yep, take it easy, dude.
All right. Hey, Alex, what's happening? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, man. You're shit kicking ass. I love your podcast. Can't get enough of it. Been wanting to call you for a while. But, hey, I'll keep it short and sweet. You ever listen to Soft Rep Radio? It's another podcast, and DDP was on there the other day. Some pretty badass dudes like Navy SEALs and all that kind of stuff.
What was Dallas talking about? DDP yoga?
Yeah, DDP yoga and, working out and then trying to help some veterans and stuff like that. What a good dude, man.
Yeah, he's been an inspiration to a lot of guys. And, man, I know a lot of the boys that do the DDP yoga. I know Chris Jericho swears by it. There's several other names. My stunt double in Canada uses it. I'm too lazy to use it, but it's turned the lives of a lot of people around. So, hey, man, he's all over the place. He's actually going to be down there in UK, Wales, and Ireland, March 1st through 11th. You people down there in that neck of the woods, I got a lot of people that listen to the show over there. Be able to go down there and check out Bang an evening with the man himself, Diamond Dallas Page. So y'all check that out. What's on your mind today? You got anything to talk about, Alex?
How's the BSR ranch? Been doing any hunting down there?
No, man, it's not currently deer season down there. I'm over here in Los Angeles, California, trying to take care of business, run this podcast, and we're fixing to start rolling cameras on the Broken Skull Ranch Challenge in 1 week, right out here, about 50 miles out of Los Angeles. So hunting season was good. We had kind of a wet year as far as the rain, which we were very fortunate to get. But our deer herd kind of decreased a little bit, and we did a flyover in a helicopter, counted some deer. We were a little bit overpopulated, so we worked on our culling a lot this year. Took out, I believe, 39 does and 19 bucks, cull bucks. 2 bucks shot in the 140 class. We saw a couple of 170s. They weren't old enough to shoot yet, but things are going good out there. Just got a ton of work. Ted Fowler, 361, the working man down there, keeping that summits together while I'm doing my thing up here trying to pay those gimmicks they keep sending to me in the mail. They're called bills. Making money up in this bitch.
Yeah, you got any movies coming out soon?
Man, I'm
like that?
going to go to a table read on Friday, and then we'll see what happens on that. And if I end up getting a part, I'll flap my gums about it. If I don't, I won't say a goddamn word. But I've been trying to focus more on the reality television stuff and my podcast, working on some different things on an individual level, also still trying to write that book. So currently no movies on the schedule, and that's good with me because I'm busy enough as it is. Hey, Alex, I appreciate you calling into the show, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, take care, man. Have a good day.
Will do. Take care. What's happening, Walter? Steve Austin coming to you from Beverly Hills, California. I hear you got a bone to pick with the WWE Network. What gives?
Hey, I'd like to get your opinion on the lack of content on the Attitude Era, especially concerning your career, considering you're the top dog.
Well, man, what happened? I was talking to one of the inside people in WWE the other day, and they asked me, had I gotten a network yet? And I don't know whether to shit or wind my watch right now because I'm so busy. Now, I'm planning on getting the WWE Network, but have not yet. Is there that much of a lack of content on the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin?
It's sad to say, but yes, there's like 8 or 10 matches.
Now, are you missing something? How could they have fucked this up?
You know what? I don't know. There's a lot of fuck ups on it, Steve. It took about 3 days for it to start working right. And just there's a whole lot of the Attitude Era just missing completely. I'm hoping that they'll turn that shit around and pay attention to what brought all their money in.
Now you sure you're hitting all the right search buttons? Because, I did some of the promo work for that, and they were really advertising and pushing that Attitude Era content as one of the things that you would be able to get a shit pile of. So I'm disappointed to hear that there has not been that much of it on the network.
Honestly, I think they'll turn it around. It's a bad time to be disappointing fans right now. 90% of the people just want to see Steve when they turn on the WWE Network. They want to see you. They want to hear you talk. They miss you, man. And they're just not going to get it right now. I'm hoping. Yeah,
I appreciate that. And so maybe they'll get some kinks ironed out. I certainly, it can't be an oversight. Maybe they dropped the ball on that end. I'll, I'm going to try to jump on that WWE Network here in the next couple days. And I'll file a report when I find what they have and what they don't have in regards to my career. So, me being me, and me doing the promos, I would expect it a lot. But, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. But, they put a lot of time and money into this, and it doesn't seem like rational thinking for them not to have a shit pile of that content.
Hey, are you going to do some shows for them?
I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody from WWE. I was down at the show here in Staples Center a couple of weeks ago when I talked to a bunch of the guys, but I haven't been in talks with those guys. I've got a project, the Broken Skull Challenge. We're fixing to roll cameras on here in about a week. So right now I'm booked up, and every now and then, they'll call one of the guys up, one of my friends. They'll say, hey, we need you here. Can you do this? And it's short notice. A lot of these calls come out of the blue for these guys, and, guys have their dates already booked. So, you got to reach out a little bit more in advance than they have on sometimes. And, specifically for the things that I have lined up. But as of right now, nothing on the books.
I've got an idea for a show.
Okay, what you got?
You and Dusty Rhodes do a show all about the promo because, hell, that's what everybody's watching. They want to see your promos.
You know, I've been thinking about going down there to the training center down in Orlando and talking to some of those cats that they're training down there. Not just to talk to them about promos, but to talk to them in general. Obviously, visit with the American Dream Dusty Rhodes in person and maybe do a podcast with him. I talked to him on the phone one time, but I'd love to get down there and just shoot the shit with him. But also go down there and talk to those cats, those kids, see what they got going on down there. So, hey, maybe I'll go down there and they'll roll a camera and we'll see what happens. Hey, I appreciate you calling in today.
All right, Steve, hey, it's been an honor, dude. Big fan.
Catch you down the road.
Swig of coffee for the podcaster.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Right on, Steve. Thank you.
You got it. All right, I'm going to keep taking all your phone calls. I ain't done yet, not by a long shot. I just got to take a minute to thank my sponsors. So I know you guys heard me talking about all these amazing supplements I've been taking, but here's the real deal. If you haven't already, you need to go get some for yourself at onnit.com/Steve, because when you go to onnit.com/Steve, you not only get the best supplements on earth, you get 10% off. And I know what some of you are already thinking. You're thinking, I'm already too smart as it is. I don't need that alpha brain that Steve's always talking about. And my body, it's a physical specimen, like a redneck Adonis. I don't need to work out with no Shroom Tech Sport or lift no kettlebells. Well, that's all fine and dandy, folks. But if you're over 25 years of age, you need to boost your testosterone. So go to onnit.com/Steve. Get 10% off. One of the safest, healthiest, and most effective ways to help the body boost testosterone ever created right now by going to onnit.com/Steve and putting some T Plus in your cart. This stuff's going to make you feel like a damn teenager again, and you can see how it works at onnit.com/Steve. But what you really need to do is feel what it does. You're going to put on muscle easier. You're going to have more energy and motivation than you can shake a stick at. And if it don't happen like that, you can get all your money back, no questions asked. So go to onnit.com/Steve. That's onnit.com/Steve. Get your 10% discount off all your supplements, and they got a 90-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for, people? Go to onnit.com/Steve and get 10% off your order. What's happening, Brandon? You going to Steve Austin show?
What's going on, Steve Austin?
Sitting on my ass talking to you. What you got for me?
Oh, man, I just wanted to talk about WrestleMania a little bit of a booking, I guess, question I have for you. Let me know if this is going out on a limb, but for some reason I feel that Daniel Bryan needs to be in the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania.
Right.
All right. And it looks like they're going to go with Daniel Bryan versus Triple H at WrestleMania, which is a good match, too. I think that this may happen in WWE. I hope it does. Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, the stipulation would be if Daniel Bryan beats Triple H, then he will be inserted into the main event. I mean, I know that guy's wrestled 2 matches on one pay-per-view before. I know Bret Hart did at WrestleMania 10. But, does that make any sense to you? What would you do in that situation?
Well, we're looking at it, okay, right now, as it's booked, you're looking at Batista versus Randy Orton. And Randy Orton has both belts, so that's a championship match. Obviously, Taker did not sign the contract the other night when after he choke-slammed Brock through the table. Brock had signed a contract. We're assuming that is a match, Taker versus Brock, and that'll be a damn good one. That'll be a ball buster.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. There's no championship gold on the line there. So, I think right now, they're going to continue to jockey for position of which one is truly the main event. It'll almost be, 2 semi-mains and a main event for political reasons, but they'll jockey with the order accordingly as they get closer by listening to the people. As far as Daniel Bryan goes, I think maybe he comes out whole against Triple H, and then the next month at Backlash, that's when he gets his opportunity, whether it's Batista or Randy Orton, and that's where he wins the championship gold. And it's not too late, but he needs to look good at Mania. He needs a win. And the next month, he needs that match, and they need to pay it off. Or by hook or by crook, through listening to the people and working through storylines, somehow figure him into that title match. And so, I'm not sure that you don't make that into a triple threat. I hate
that's what I was thinking.
I hate triple threat matches, but you could certainly, to get him in that picture, to pay it off now on the biggest show of the year and the biggest show, right now, and it'll be the biggest WrestleMania ever, 30. That would be, I think, a better time for Daniel Bryan to win a championship rather than Backlash, but nonetheless, either one ends up with him being a champion, and I think they must pay this angle off. The time is now.
Yeah, I think the WrestleMania match, if it were a triple threat, I mean, I don't like him that much either, but I really think that would be the icing on the cake as far as his journey to becoming the champ. He had to go through 2 matches, not just one, but 2, to, get the championship. So I think that'll tell a hell of a story.
It does.
Thanks for taking my call.
It does tell a hell of a story, and if they decide to go that way, that is not a bad idea whatsoever.
Good. All right. Well, thanks for taking my call, Steve.
You got it. We'll see what happens here on the road to WrestleMania. Take care, man.
You too. Thanks.
All right. What's happening, Anthony? All the way over in the UK. Where are you calling from?
Hello there, Stone Cold. I'm calling all the way from London, England.
London, England, man. What's happening over there? What you want to talk about today?
First of all, it's a true honor to talk to you. I've been a huge fan of you for so many years. And right now, my heart is pounding talking to you right now. What's your opinion, on Alberto Del Rio? There's rumors that he's leaving the company after his contract is finished.
Now, I have not heard that rumor, Anthony. Is that a true statement, or are they working an angle, or is he just deciding to ride off into the sunset?
I think he's deciding to retire after his contract's finished. He's saying that he's burnt out and the creative has got nothing for him. This is the rumors I keep hearing on Twitter constantly.
Well, I tell you what, I was just watching him the other night in his match with Batista on Monday Night Raw, and wasn't a bad match. Man, I don't know what to say because you catch me off guard with that one. I did not know the cat was thinking about taking his bag of tricks and riding off the sunset or stepping back, chilling out for a while, or much less retiring. He still seems like a young guy with a lot of gas left in the tank. And, it started off, they were really pushing him, and then they kind of started slowing down that push. And
that's right. And he's a terrific worker in the ring as well.
He's good. He's not terrific, but he's good. And there's a few holes in his game. And sometimes, it's all about identifying with that crowd. And I don't know if he's identified, whether it's from a heel persona or a babyface persona, as much as they would have liked for him to.
No, it didn't really work for him, the babyface role for him. But I do think he's a good in-ring worker. He's had a few good matches with John Cena. I don't know if he can work well with Batista, but the only good matches I've seen him with is Rey Mysterio and John Cena so far. So
well, we'll see what the future holds for him. And now that you've put that on the radar, I will continue to monitor that. And if he does ride off in the sunset, then we'll talk about it here on the show. But hey, man, I appreciate you calling all the way from London, England, brother.
You take care, my friend.
Will do. You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, Justin, what's happening? Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Steve?
Another day, another dollar. Trying to make some money up in this bitch. What are you doing?
I'm just waiting for a class, Steve. I'm at University of Connecticut at the moment.
What are you majoring in?
History.
There you go. So what you going to do with that? You going to teach?
Possibly. I loved teaching soldiers when I was in the military, so I figured why not?
Well, there you go. Hey, man, what you want to talk about today?
Well, I was curious as to with Jim Ross and Mick Foley having their shows on the road, and once your other obligations are complete and you bring the Steve Austin show on the road, I was wondering if you were doing something similar to them, where it's like having like a Q&A and autograph and picture signings or such, because I'm always wanting to meet you. I just, with being in the military, I kind of miss my opportunity a lot.
Well, I guess so, man. You're always out there deployed or staying busy. I've been talking about taking this thing on the road for quite some time now. And in the future, I wanted to do this. It's 2014 now, and I wanted to take this thing out on the road. But it seems like every time I start wanting to kind of put some dates together, another project jumps up in front of me. I'm got a couple of movie things that I'm reading for. Things look good, but we'll see. And I'm going to start filming the Broken Skull Challenge in a week. We're working on another reality project right on the back end of that. So right when I start thinking about taking this thing on the road, something else happens. So it's all good, and we'll see. Now, I know Mick Foley has taken his show, and he's been very successful with it. And I'm very surprised at how many dates he's actually working. As long as I beat up and down the road, and many of those traveling with Mick Foley as my travel partner, I don't want to be on the road as much as he is. And I think Jim Ross is actually in New York City as we speak. and he's going to be doing fewer of them. So it'd be very select, and maybe I wouldn't say over 12 to 15 of them a year, but I do want to get out there and meet some people and have a good time, and also record some podcasts in the process to answer your question.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, because it's a goal of mine to be able to meet a lot of the stars from the 60s on to today, and so far I've met every single one of them with the exception of you and The Rock.
Who'd you meet from the 60s?
I met Bruno Sammartino not too long ago, and Superstar Billy Graham last year at WrestleCon.
Well, those are two of the biggest names ever. Superstar Billy Graham is one of my favorites. Man, I tell you what, watching that guy. He was a guy that was 20 years ahead of his time, just like he said on his DVD. Vince Sr. didn't really know what to do with him at the end of that heel run, and then Backlund beat him for the championship, and Superstar, man, I think that really fucked his head up, and he kind of just went AWOL. But really, Superstar had a chance to be the first Stone Cold. He was that guy. But they didn't think then to just kind of transition him into being a babyface, and that loss really, I think, on a personal level, rocked his world, and he rode off into the sunset, then reappeared later. But, he had a great career, and it was a guy that influenced a lot of cats in this business, and a guy that I had a lot of respect for.
Definitely, and I told him when I met him, I was like, if it wasn't for you, people like Hulk Hogan and Jesse Ventura wouldn't be around. Or they would, they just wouldn't be as big as they were.
Well, it would have been interesting to see what they would have done without the influence from Superstar, because he was that visual, that blonde-headed, muscle-bound guy, and he was the template. So they modeled their careers after him. So had he not been there, what would they have modeled themselves after? You know what I'm saying? It's like Austin 316 would have never been born without a match with Jake the Snake Roberts and me getting kicked in the mouth and Triple H getting, buried because he was supposed to win that King of the Ring in '96. So who would have known what would have happened to Hogan's career and Ventura's career had they not had that influence?
Exactly.
I can only imagine Hulk Hogan would have still, and Jesse, with the success that he had with his voice and his talking, I can only imagine they would have both been equally as successful. But, hey, it might have been a whole different gimmick.
It might have been. I really liked Jesse's gift for gab on commentary, especially with the new WWE Network. It's just incredible how things have changed. As a fan, I've been watching since when you became Austin 316 at the King of the Ring. So it's been almost 20 years for me. So it's an interesting ride.
I enjoyed listening to Jesse do